Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's regional distance learning seminar. Today's topic is Introduction to Dolutegravir-based regimens and Phase 1 Transition Plan. Today's speaker is Dr. Pooja Chauhan. Dr. Pooja Chauhan is MD DNB in internal medicine with a vast experience after her post-graduation. She has worked as SMO in cardiac care unit in Fortis Hospital, Mohali and Faridabad. She has also completed 3 years senior residency in internal medicine from GMCH Hospital, Sector 32, Chandigarh. She has worked as a consultant medicine in IV Hospital, Mohali, and currently working as a senior medical officer in Center of Excellence in HIV Care, PGI MER, Chandigarh. We welcome you, ma'am, to today's session and kindly start the session.
Ma'am, please use your cursor to start.
जी जी जी
मैं जरा स्टोर में जा रहा हूँ
हाँ हो गया उनको पूछो स्टार्ट स्पीकिंग स्टार्ट नंबर Good morning, everybody. Today we will be talking about the introduction of dolutegravir-based regime in our NACO program. So before starting about the session, I will like to tell you something about dolutegravir. Actually, dolutegravir is an integrase inhibitor, just like raltegravir, and it will be used in our program in all the three lines, that is first line, second line and third line. Many foreign countries, for example Australia and Europe, they are already using dolutegravir in their first line treatment from a long time. There are patients which have been coming to us from basically from Australia and Europe, those who are on dolutegravir based first line regime for almost more than 6 to 7 years. They are doing very well on it. Their viral load which were done in our ART center were target not detected. Their viral load was very good, viral load suppression was there. They didn't encounter any kind of side effects when it was started to them, and that is the by this example you can make out that dolutegravir is a very good drug, and that is why it has been introduced in our program also, because its side effects as compared to efavirenz are very less. The potency is very high. That means the failure rate with the drug are very low. And the side effects are less. Because of that, the adherence of the patient on the drug is good. So this is the brief summary of the dolutegravir. Now we will be discussing in detail about dolutegravir. So the content of this session is, there is introduction to dolutegravir, that is DTG, into the National AIDS Control Program, pharmacology of dolutegravir and benefits of dolutegravir, dolutegravir based regime. It will be in first line, second line, third line treatment, will be introduced in all the lines. Dolutegravir in special situations like TB, co-infected HIV, TB co-infections, and women in reproductive age group. Dolutegravir-based ART as PEP, that is post-exposure prophylaxis, and phase 1. It will be introduced in our program in phasic manner. So we will be talking about the phase 1 of the NACOS DTG transition plan. Now, why dolutegravir-based regime? Okay, I have given you an example right now of the patients which have been coming to our ART and doing very well on these regimes which are started to them outside. So why dolutegravir is being introduced in our program? So one thing is the first important thing is this rapid viral load suppression. So what is there are some comparative studies have been conducted which shows what are the results of dolutegravir over efavirenz. So it was seen that mm, dolutegravir achieves viral load suppression much sooner than efavirenz. It was like within an average of 4 weeks with dolutegravir, viral load suppression was seen as compared to efavirenz, which takes almost 12 weeks. Then second point is fewer toxicities and side effects. Number one is minimal discontinuation was seen. It was less than 2%. Then less than that what is seen with efavirenz, much less. Then rash, only 2% people were encountered with rash as compared to 13% with efavirenz. Then neuropsychiatric events. You might have commonly seen in your ARTs that whenever we start with the efavirenz-based regimen as a first line, that is TLE, mostly patients they complain of dizziness, giddiness. So these neuropsychiatric events were significantly more common with efavirenz. Uh, as compared to it was seen in with dolutegravir. Dolutegravir it was just 5% as compared to efavirenz which was 35%. Okay, while there is one side effect which is called that is insomnia. So that insomnia is more frequent with the dolutegravir as compared to efavirenz. Insomnia, the frequency, the percentage of people those who encountered insomnia with DTG was 13% as compared to efavirenz which was just 7%. So this is one side effect which is more common with dolutegravir than efavirenz. Then next is more potent regimen. No known treatment emergent resistant across trials. So across trials, they have not encountered any treatment emergent resistance with dolutegravir. Then minimal drug interaction. There are minimal drug interactions with dolutegravir. Only the interaction right now which we are worried about is along with rifampicin. So all the people, those who are co-infected with tuberculosis, HIV, which are those who are co-infected with tuberculosis and on rifampicin based regime, they have to be given dolutegravir twice a day at 12 hours interval apart. Okay? Otherwise, the dose remains OD, 50 milligram OD. But in patients, those who are taking rifampicin based anti-tubercular treatment, they have to be given dolutegravir 50 milligram twice a day. Those who are on rifabutin based regimen, they are not to be given dolutegravir twice a day. In those people, dolutegravir will be given only once a day. Those who are taking rifabutin. Okay. Then high genetic barrier, efficient against HIV-2. See, this dolutegravir based regimen which will be starting in our program is efficient against HIV-1, HIV-2 as well as HIV-1 and 2. So one more advantage will be that we do not have to give some other regime for HIV-2 or HIV-1 and 2. So we do not have to bother about that. We can give TLD to all the people. We do not have to give leponavir, ritonavir regimen like we were giving to HIV-2 patients earlier. So we can give TLD to all of them. Those who are HIV-1, HIV-2 as well as having confusion between HIV-1 and 2. Then next slide. Now DTG delivers rapid sustained efficacy. Now there were different studies which were conducted along with the dolutegravir. These are different studies which have been conducted, telling us the comparing the efficacy of dolutegravir and efavirenz. So they have there is a study which they have mentioned called as single study. In this, 833 patients were enrolled in this study, and DTG abacavir lamivudine combination was the efficacy of this combination was studied over the combination of uh, tenofovir, amtrocitabine, and efavirenz. Okay. So they have seen that at 48 weeks, the viral load suppression with DTG based regime was 88% as compared to 81% with efavirenz based regime. Same way, at 96 weeks, they have observed that the viral load suppression with DTG based regime was 80% as compared to only 72% with efavirenz based regime. So the thing, so we have come to the same point that dolutegravir achieves viral load suppression sooner than efavirenz at an average of 4 weeks as compared to efavirenz, which takes almost 12 weeks for the viral load to get suppressed. Now, this is a graph which is again showing the same thing, that what is the viral load suppression with the dolutegravir and with efavirenz at different weeks. Fine. So same, it is there that the above gray line is of dolutegravir and the yellow line is of efavirenz. So it shows at 48 weeks, you can see the viral load suppression with dolutegravir based regime is 88%, whereas with efavirenz it is 81%. And similarly, at 96 weeks, the viral load suppression with dolutegravir based regime is 80% as compared to efavirenz, which is just 72% at 96 weeks. So all these studies, this study which we have seen in the previous slide and this slide shows that the viral load suppression with DTG is much, much, much earlier as compared to efavirenz. At an average, DTG takes only 4 weeks for viral load suppression as compared to efavirenz based regime, which takes almost 12 weeks. Now DTG is generally well tolerated. Now there are studies which shows that DTG is well tolerated. That means side effects with DTG are are less as compared to efavirenz, especially the neuropsychiatric side effects, that is giddiness. Okay. So now this is another study, single study they have done again with 833 patients, and both the regimes were compared, one DTG based regime and efavirenz based regime, and they have seen that the discontinuation rate with DTG based regime was just 2% as compared to efavirenz, which was 10% at 48 weeks and 3% at 96 weeks with dolutegravir based regimen, whereas 11% discontinuation rate with efavirenz based regime at 96 weeks. So discontinuation rate with DTG based regime was much, much low as compared to efavirenz based regime. Now these are also, there are different studies which have been conducted, the single study, spring study, sailing study. In all these studies, the dolutegravir was compared along with the other uh, NRTIs and integrase inhibitors, and this sailing study they have also compared DTG along with dolutegravir. So in all these studies, it has been shown that DTG has been found more superior to rest of the NRTIs and even the integrase inhibitor, that is ratigravir, which we are using currently in our program. So this is the graph which shows the potency and genetic barrier to resistance. So you can see that there is barrier to resistance and potency is labeled on the graph, and you can see that DTG is very high up in the barrier to resistance. This shows that the resistance with DTG is very low as compared to the other NRTIs, NNRTIs, and protease inhibitors as well as integrase inhibitors. So the potency and the genetic barrier to resistance of this drug is very low. The resistance with this drug is very low. That means the potency and efficacy of the drug is very, very good. Now we will be studying the what is the role of current DTG data in pregnant and the newborns. So in Botswana, there was a study was done. Say Botswana, in Botswana, there is a maternity ward that is the 8th largest maternity ward is there in Botswana, where 45% of the total births in the country take place. So what they have observed that early analysis in 2018, the study was done in 2018 and it was done in 2019 also. So early analysis in 2018 identified that 4 neural tube defects out of 426 women taking DTG at the time of conception. So for a rate of 0.9%. Okay, which is uh, then this study was again updated in 2019 and data shows prevalence has declined from 0.94%, that is 4 of 426 exposure, to 0.30%, that is 5 of 1683 exposures. The difference remains statistically significant compared to efavirenz, but the overall risk remains low. See in 2018, the study which was done, you can see that the rate of neural tube defects in the pregnant females, those who were taking DTG, was 0.9% as compared to that of efavirenz, which is 0.37% to 2.4%. Okay, but in 2019, when the study was again conducted, the risk rate has further decreased. So they are hoping that in further studies which will be conducted in 2020, even the risk rate will come down even further. The neural tube defect risk rate in pregnant females taking DTG will further come down. So now women on efavirenz at conception had neural tube risk rate of just 0.05%. That is something between 0.02% to 0.15%. And other ARVs that had a risk of 0.12%. Other retroviral drug had a risk of 0.12%. However, it is safe to initiate DTG based regime in pregnant women beyond first trimester. See, the neural tube defects are more common in pregnant women before first trimester of pregnancy. But if somebody conceives on TLD, so after first trimester, if any pregnant woman is coming to us after first trimester of pregnancy for the initiation of the ART drug, then we can safely initiate TLD in that female. But those who are in their reproductive age group, in those the neural tube defects are slightly higher as compared to efavirenz based regime. So in such, the females which are coming to us in their reproductive age group, we have to explain them the percentage of the side effect, this neural tube side effect in the newborn before starting the regime. We will discuss about later in the later slides the same point. So in short, I want to tell that one of the major side effects with DTG is insomnia. Then second is that in HIV co-infected patients, DTG has to be given twice a day, those who are taking rifampicin based anti-tubercular treatment. And third is that the neural tube defects are slightly higher. The percentage of neural tube defects are slightly higher with DTG in pregnant females as compared to those who are on efavirenz based regime. Okay, so it has been found to be about 0.94% or 2.30%, which is as compared to efavirenz, which is just 0.05%. That is 0.02% to 0.15%. Okay. Now, TLD and adult women, the one I was talking about has been given in detail in this slide, that dolutegravir and adult women and endorsal girls of childbearing age. So effective contraception should be offered to adult women and adolescent girls of childbearing age or potential. So first of all, we should always be should be educating all these females, those who are of adolescent females and adult women of childbearing age, about effective contraception. That should be always talked about. Then DTG can be prescribed for adult women and adolescent girls of childbearing age or potential who wish to become pregnant, or who are not otherwise using or assessing consistent and effective contraception if they have been fully informed of the potential increase in the risk of neural tube defects at conception and until the end of the first trimester. See, in adult females, adult women, and adolescent girls of childbearing age, we can prescribe them DTG only after those who are willing to conceive and not using effective measures of contraception. They are not consistent with it. They can be given DTG only they have been fully informed about the risk of neural tube defects in the newborn. Okay, so in a case a woman does not want to initiate dolutegravir based regimen, that is TLD, after adequate counseling, she should not be initiated on she should not be given TLD, and she should be initiated on TLD. Okay? If woman is identified to be pregnant after the first trimester, like I said earlier, that if somebody comes to you after first trimester of pregnancy for the initiation of the ART, then DTG should be initiated or continued for the duration of the pregnancy. Right? So that all the adult women and adolescent girls of childbearing age, those who want to bear a child and they are not using effective measures of contraception, they, before starting the DTG regime, they should be always informed about the potential risk of neural tube defects in the newborn, and then only they should be started on DTG after after a consent, a fully informed consent. But if a female refuses to take a dolutegravir regimen, that she wants to have a child, then with you can adequately counsel the female that what are the advantages of dolutegravir over equivalence. And even then, if she says ki no, she doesn't want to take, she wants to have a child, then you can initiate that patient on TLE, women on TLE with a informed consent. But if any women is coming to you after first trimester of pregnancy, then obviously the chances of neural tube defects are very, 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 very low. So in such patients, there is no need to start them on TLE. We can safely give TLD to such females. Now, risk versus benefits of DTG use in women of childbearing potential. Now, benefits of DTG in women of childbearing potential include greater maternal viral suppression. The greater the maternal viral suppression, then less is the transmission to the baby. So fewer maternal deaths will be there, fewer sexual transmissions will be there, and fewer mother to child transmission of HIV. So these are the benefits of the DTG in women of childbearing potential. Now, what are the risk of DTG in women with childbearing potential? Includes adult morbidity resulting from DTG associated weight gain. So this is also one of the side effects which we have not talked about DTG. One we have seen is insomnia. The other we have seen is the drug interaction with the rifampicin. So we have to give in such cases twice a dose of DTG. The third which we have talked about is the neural tube defects which were there, have been seen in newborns, in childbearing women. And the third and the fourth side effect is most important side effect which have been recently seen with DTG is weight gain. So in our country, weight gain is good because most of the people are very lean, their body mass index is very poor, and especially patients, those who are coming with WHO stage 3 and 4, they are very lean with no body mass at all. So for them, it will be very good that weight gain, they will have a good weight gain. But subsequently, weight gain has to be monitored with DTG by giving them counseling regarding the good eating habits and regular exercises. So this is one of the side effects with DTG is weight gain. And what they're talking about, I'll read this point again. Risk of DTG in women of childbearing potential include adult morbidity resulting from DTG associated weight gain and neonatal deaths among the infants of pregnant women with DTG associated weight gain. The risk benefit model suggests that the benefit of DTG for women of childbearing potential newly initiated ARV likely to overweigh the risk associated with it. But they have seen that the benefits are really very, very high as compared to the risks. Okay. Now, mechanism of action of DTG is same as integrase inhibitor like the raltegravir. Now, this slide shows that different group of ARV drugs which are available with us. The one in light brown are the one which are available in the program. The one in the white are not, and the one in the dark brown, that is dolutegravir, you can see under the integrase inhibitors, is being introduced now in our program. So you are very well aware of this slide. So we can skip it. Now, mechanism of action is same as integrase inhibitor. I will not go into the details of the mechanism of action, but in short, I can tell you that the incorporation of HIV DNA into host DNA is by integrase. So integrase inhibitor act on this pathway integrase and does not allow the HIV DNA to get incorporated into the host DNA. This is the mechanism in short. Now we come to the adverse events and drug interactions of DTG. Okay. So we have by now you might have got some idea about the side effects of DTG. So one is insomnia, headache, dizziness, tiredness, allergic reaction, and DTG associated weight gain. So for this weight gain, WHO has recommendations, the importance of healthy diet and regular exercise in the management of weight gain. Okay. Now these are the important drug interactions with DTG. One, we have already talked about rifampicin in the previous slides, that those who are on rifampicin based anti-tubercular treatment, they have to be given DTG twice a day. So we'll go one by one according to this slide. One is amodiaquine. So this is an anti-malarial drug which is not used in India. So use an alternative anti-malarial drug. In India, we are not using this. We use chloroquine, chloroquine, artemether, artesunate. So it is not widely practiced, used in India. So if it is being used, we have to use an alternate anti-malarial drug. Then carbamazepine. Carbamazepine is an anti-epileptic drug. If somebody is on carbamazepine, then you have to use DTG twice daily, or you can substitute it with an alternate anticonvulsant agent. Then third drug is phenytoin or phenobarbital, Eptoin, which is also a very commonly used anti-epileptic drug in India. If somebody is on Eptoin and you have to start the DLT, that is dolutegravir based regime, then you have to use an alternate anti-convulsant agent. You cannot use phenytoin or phenobarbital. Then dofterilide, it is an antiarrhythmic agent. So if somebody is on that, it has to be used, an alternative antiarrhythmic agent has to be used. Now the most important thing is metformin. Metformin, as you know, is an oral hypoglycemic agent and it is used in diabetics. So if anybody is on metformin and we are giving that person dolutegravir based regime, so the dose of metformin cannot be exceeded more than 1000 mg. Why? Because the chances of side effects like lactic acidosis will be very high then. So we cannot use more than 1000 mg of metformin. We should monitor the glucose levels regularly, and if the sugar levels are not well controlled with metformin 1000 mg, rather than increasing the dose of metformin in such patients, we have to use some other oral hypoglycemic agents. ठीक है, like sulfonylurea and etc. Okay, sitagliptins and teneligliptin and all that. But metformin dose should not be increased more than 1000 mg in patients those who are taking dolutegravir based regime. Okay. The other side effect is that polyvalent cation products containing aluminum, calcium, iron, magnesium, and zinc. These are the commonly used drugs like multivitamins, iron tablets, and zinc tablets, and aluminum like antacids, which are using Digene and all. So if we are prescribing any such drug along with the dolutegravir based regimen, what we have to tell the patient is that use these drugs uh, either 2 hours before or 6 hours after DTG. So this has to be explained to the patients if we are prescribing these drugs along with DTG, that you have to use these drugs either 2 hours before or 6 hours after DTG. And last is rifampicin, which I have already talked about, that anybody who is on rifampicin based regime, this anti-tubercular treatment, either we have to use DTG twice daily or we can substitute it with rifampicin and rifabutin, depending upon the availability of rifabutin. Okay. Now, how DTG is proposed to be used under the national program? So now, how it will be incorporated in our program, we will be talking about that. Okay. Now, dolutegravir-based regime for treatment of HIV positive adults, adolescents, and children. See, we are talking about first the use of dolutegravir-based regime in HIV positive adults, adolescents, and children. Which children we are talking about? Children, those who are either more than 6 years of age and they are more than 20 kg weight. Their weight should be more than 20 kg or their plus their age should be more than 6 years. So dolutegravir based regimes will be the preferred regime as the first line in the national program for new PLHIVs as well as already on ART PLHIV. Now, selection of appropriate dolutegravir based regime would depend on the viral load suppression status of PLHIV and current ARV drug being used. See, we will be talking about this in details in the coming slides. So what they are saying is that now this obviously the new PLHIVs which will be coming to us, we will be giving them TLD. Plus, we will be giving it to people those who are already on ART also. Okay, that it will be changed. Their drugs will be changed. So how will be changing it? It depends upon number one, the viral load suppression status of the patient, and number two, that which current regime the patient is on. Right? What are they taking? Are they on ZLN or they are on leponavir, ritonavir based regime? So we will be according to the regime which the patients are taking and according to the viral load suppression, we will be changing we will be incorporating the different DTG regimes in their drug. Okay. Now, PLHIV on various ARV regime will be gradually shifted to dolutegravir based regime in a phased manner. Like I said, they will be changed in the phased manner. Okay? And all these DTG based regime will be implemented only after the office memorandum from the NACO will be coming. Okay? And it will be also based on the drug stock availability of the dolutegravir. So NACO would be issuing office orders from time to time for transition of DTG based regime. So all these memorandums from the NACO will be coming to you people. So how to change it in the phasic manner and how to incorporate DTG in the program, NACO program. So don't worry about it. Now what I am giving you a brief idea that how this drug will be incorporated in the first line, in the second line, as well as in the third line. So let's talk about first line. Now, how it will be incorporated in our program in first line. First, we are talking about first line. Okay. So, preferred first line ART regime for all PLHIVs. Okay, with age more than 10 years and weight more than 30 kg. So, okay, we are talking about all PLHIVs with age more than 10 years and weight more than 30 kg. So what will be the regime which will be there? Tenofovir 300 mg, lamivudine 300 mg and dolutegravir 50 mg. A fixed drug combination as it is available in our program of TLE will be available of TLD also. And it will be a one tablet once daily. So it can be at bedtime or any fixed time every day as per patient convenience. So truck drivers, they come to us saying कि भाई हम लोग तो we drive truck at night, we cannot take TLE at night, because of the giddiness factor we were asking them to take it at night. Okay. And some people are doing night duties, so if they take efavirenz at night, they feel giddy and they are not able to work properly. So such things will not be absorbed with TLD. They can take one tablet anytime, any point of the time, either during the bedtime, any time they can fix, and every day they can take it on the same time. The other advantage of it, I have told you already, that TLD will be given to all patients with HIV 1, whether they are HIV 2 or they are HIV 1 or 2. So, women exposed to single dose levorapine in the past, PLHIV co-infected with tuberculosis or hepatitis B and C. So, even for hepatitis B, or they are having C, or they are co-infected with tuberculosis, in everybody you have to give the same regime, that is TLD. So no separate regime like riponavir, ritonavir for HIV 2 and all will not be required anymore. So what they have to know, we have to notice that women of childbearing age or potential should be provided informed choice about the benefits and risk for the use of DTG. We have talked in the previous slides also that all the women of childbearing age or potential, you have to tell them ki what are the benefits of DTD over the efavirenz, and only after their informed consent you have to start with the TLD regime. And if they are not willing for it because of the neural tube defects and the weight gain in the pregnancy and all, so you can start them with TLD then. So now again the NACO has given a note that these guidelines will be implemented after release of office memorandum from NACO only. Now these are the upcoming guidelines. ART regime in ART naive adults and adolescents alternate. Now the PLHIVs with body weight less than 30 kg. We have talked that there should be age more than 10 years, and in the previous slide we have seen the age should be 10 years, more than 10 years, and weight more than 30 kg. Now they are talking about PLHIVs whose weight is less than 30 kg. What you have to use in them? That abacavir, lamivudine, abacavir 600 mg, lamivudine 300 mg, one tablet, and dolutegravir 50 mg once daily. This is the drug of choice, alternate drug of choice in people having body weight less than 30 kg. Now all patients with high creatinine levels get DLT will be given only if the creatinine levels are normal. If the creatinine levels are high, fixed drug combination I'm talking about of TLD, then all the patients with high creatinine levels, they will be given abacavir 600 mg once daily, lamivudine as per creatinine clearance, as you all know, and DTG 50 mg once daily. So this is the alternate drugs for the PLHIVs, those who are less than 30 kg of weight and those who are having deranged creatinine levels. Now, new initiations, special situations. Now, these are the special situations they are talking about. So, we have already talked about this, that PLHI on rifampicin containing ATT regime, what we'll be doing? We will be giving TLD, that is tenofovir 300 mg, lamivudine 300 mg, and DTG 50 mg once daily, fixed drug combination in evening, and additional DTG 50 mg in the morning will be given. Okay, I have already talked about this many times that patients, those who are on rifampicin based taking ATT regime, they will be given DTG twice daily. Once along with the fixed drug combination, and then after 12 hours, that is DTG, another dose of 50 mg DTG will be given to such patients. And females in reproductive age group who opt out of the TLD, those who do not want to take dolutegravir based regime, even after you have explained them all the benefits and all, in such patients you can give TLE as we are giving now. And if efavirenz is contraindicated, for example, the patient is HIV-2 or HIV-1 and 2, or prior and an RTI exposure is there, then you have to give TL along with LPVR. TL once daily, that is 300 mg, and lamivudine 300 mg, TL once OD, and leponavir ritonavir 2 tablet twice a day. Got it? So females, though of reproductive age group, those who do not want to take dolutegravir because of the neural side effects or the weight gain during pregnancy, they can be given TLE. And if efavirenz is somehow contraindicated in some females because of HIV-2, 1 and 2, or prior NNRTI exposure, in such patients, then TL is to be given along with LPVR. Okay, so okay, so they have written in, that one thing is highlighted, that 48-week results from the InSpring study shows that DTG 50 mg BD is effective in TB patients treated with rifampicin. However, this additional dose will be stopped 15 days after completing of rifampicin based ATT. They have written that 48 weeks they have results, they have done an InSpring study which shows that DTG 50 mg BD is effective in TB patients treated with rifampicin. Okay, so next slide we'll go. Upcoming second line regime. So now we have talked about the first line, what we'll be doing with the first line. Now this is coming the second line. Now one by one we'll start. So first is zidovudine containing first line. For example, if somebody is on ZLN and patient has failed on ZLN, then the second line will be TLD. Okay. So and if the the second line will be TLD, zidovudine along with a zidovudine along with an NNRTI, that is nevirapine or efavirenz, or a PI based first line. PI based means atazanavir, ritonavir, whatever. Okay, if that is the first line ART and the patient fails on it, then we have to give TLD. Okay, ZL along with either nevirapine or efavirenz, or a PI based first line. That is atazanavir, ritonavir, or leponavir, ritonavir. We have to give them second line. If they have failed on this first line, then we have to give them second line as TLD, tenofovir, lamivudine, and dolutegravir. And if the tenofovir is contraindicated in such patient, then we can use abacavir. Okay. Now, for example, if they are having, creatinine is deranged, then we cannot use, CKD is there, we cannot use tenofovir, it is a nephrotoxic drug. Okay. So in that cases, abacavir can be used, for example. Now, next is that if the patient on tenofovir or abacavir, along with, again, tenofovir is being used along with either efavirenz or nevirapine, or PI based regime like atazanavir, ritonavir, or leponavir, ritonavir. Anybody on any of these combinations along with tenofovir or with abacavir, they will be shipped to ZLD, that is zidovudine, lamivudine, and dolutegravir. If in case the HP is less than 9, then we have to use dolutegravir along with leponavir, ritonavir in such patients. If HB is less than 9, okay, that means it becomes like multiple exposure of what we are dealing with NNRTIs, multiple exposure we were treating these days. So if somebody is on tenofovir and abacavir along with either efavirenz or nevirapine or atazanavir ritonavir or liponavir ritonavir and has failed on this regime, they have to be started on ZLD. Okay, zidovudine, lamivudine, and uh, uh, dolutegravir. If HB is less than 9, then we have to give dolutegravir OD along with liponavir ritonavir. Okay. Now TLD, if suppose first line is TLD and the patient has failed on that, then the second line will be ZL with ATBR. If HB is less than 9 as before, dolutegravir will be given BD along with liponavir ritonavir. So if somebody has failed on dolutegravir, and if HB, they will be started second line as ZL with ATVR. But if HB is less than 9 in such patients, then dolutegravir has to give in BD. Okay. The same if somebody is on ZLD and has failed on that, then we have to give TL with ATV by R as the second line drug. Okay. Next is the multiple NRTI exposure. In that, the preferred line of choice, second line of choice is dolutegravir with liponavir ritonavir, and multiple NRTI exposed with PI based regime or with NNRTI both. It is if it is with the PI based regime, then it is dolutegravir with darunavir ritonavir. Multi NRTI exposed regime with first line, if it is there, then we have to give darunavir, dolutegravir along with liponavir ritonavir. And if it is PI based regime like we are giving right now for the multiple NRTI exposed regime, we are giving the regime which we are giving is liponavir ritonavir along with raltegravir. So if somebody has failed on that, then PI based first line, okay, multiple NRT exposed, then we have to give them darunavir, ritonavir along with dolutegravir. Okay. Any PLHIV co-infected with TB regime, BD dose of dolutegravir until the patient completes ATT, and then after OD dose continued. And any PLHIV co-infected with hepatitis B will receive additional TL if not already receiving. So these are the two important things is that any PLHIV co-infected with tuberculosis, they receive twice BD dose of DTG, and once they complete their ATT, then you have to make it again OD. Okay, dolutegravir has to be again changed to OD once a day. And any PLHIV co-infected with hepatitis B, they will receive an additional tenofovir plus lamivudine if already they are not receiving in the above regimes. Okay. Now third line ART, how we will incorporating the dolutegravir in the third line is that third line regime should include new drugs with minimal risk of cross resistance to previously used ARVs. A third line ART will be formed by INSTI and a new boosted PI. The third line ART will be started by ART center after receiving advice from SASAP of the respective select linked ART plus center or center of excellence. The regime and dose will be like dolutegravir twice a day plus darunavir plus ritonavir twice a day. Darunavir 600 mg and ritonavir 100 mg twice a day. Now, DTG will be used in OD dose if the drug was never used in first line or second line ART regime. So, for example, right now, patients, those if the dolutegravir is not used in previous lines before, so it will be used in OD dose only. Okay? It will not be used in BD dose, but if it is used in previous line, dolutegravir has been used in previous first line or second line and the patient has failed on them, then in third line dolutegravir will be used as twice daily. Okay. Any PLHIV co-infected with hepatitis will receive additional TL if not already receiving. Now these are the upcoming guidelines ART regime in ART NAVE CLHIVs. ठीक है, children living with HIV. ठीक है, what we were talking about was the adult. Now we will be seeing ki what will be the how dolutegravir will be incorporated in the regime for the children living with HIV. The WHO recommends dolutegravir as the preferred first line drug for all the children in the age of more than 6 years. ठीक है, because of limitation in widespread availability of pediatric formulation in India, the pediatric ART technical resource group recommends the following regimen on the age and weight of the children. Now, number one is that weight less than 20 kg, weight less than 20 kg, or age below 6 years. What we have to give them? Obviously, all the drugs will be given according to the weight of the children. Abacavir, lamivudine, leponavir, and ritonavir. This is the preferred first line regime for children, those who are having weight less than 20 kg or age below 6 years. Now, if they have weight between 20 to 30 kg and age between 6 to 10 years, we have to give abacavir and lamivudine according to the body weight and dolutegravir 50 milligram only. Okay, and if it weight above 30 kg and age 10 years, then we can give a fixed drug combination of TLD as for the adults. That is tenofovir 300 mg, lamivudine 300 mg, and dolutegravir 50 mg. FDC can be given to such children, those who are above 10 years of age and have weight more than 30 kgs. Okay, all these guidelines will be implemented after the release of office memorandum from NACO. All first line, second line, third line, as well as in the children. Okay, the office memorandum will be coming from the NACO to you people, and then only these guidelines will be implemented in our program. Now, this is a graph which shows exactly what we have just talked about. The how we'll be incorporating the dolutegravir in children living with HIV. So I will go through it. That confirm HIV infection, virologically serological testing, test, treat and stabilize acute condition and opportunistic infection, baseline CD4 testing and other lab investigation. Then we have to see the age of the child. If the age of the child is less than 6 years and weight is less than 20 kgs, then we have to give abacavir, lamivudine, and leponavir, ritonavir. We can give all these three drugs according to the weight of the child. If the child is between 6 to 10 years and the weight is between 20 to 30 kg, then we can give the child abacavir, lamivudine, and dolutegravir according to the weight of the child again. Whereas if the weight is more than 30 kg and age is more than 10 years and there are rare renal diseases, the child can be given a fixed drug combination of TLD, FDC, which will be available in our program soon. And if the weight is less than 30 kg, then again, we have to give the child abacavir, lamivudine according to the weight and dolutegravir 50 milligram OD dose. Okay. So these guidelines will be implemented after release of office memorandum from NACO. Now upcoming guidelines for ART regime HIV co-infected in ART NAVE CLHIV children with those who are having tuberculosis, how it will be incorporated. BTG based ART for TB HIV co-infection on rifampicin based ATD. Okay. Now CLHIV who is on rifampicin containing ATT regime should receive an additional dose of dolutegravir every day. So it is same as adults, they also have to get an additional dose of dolutegravir. Now all the three category which we have seen, we will be discussing the same way. The tubercular treatment, the weight if it is less than 20 kg and age below 6 years. What regime which we have talked about? Abacavir, lamivudine and leponavir, ritonavir. But if the child is taking ATT along with it, then we have to give the boosting of ritonavir. Okay, with super boosting of ritonavir has to be done. If the weight of the child is between 20 to 30 kg and age between 6 to 10 years, the regime which have been preferred is abacavir, lamivudine and dolutegravir. So now the patient is on dolutegravir and taking ATT, the child. So you have to give an additional dose of dolutegravir, that is 50 mg after 12 hours. Now, if the weight is above 30 kg and the age is more than 10 years, you will give a fixed combination of dolutegravir, lamivudine, and tenofovir, lamivudine, and dolutegravir, and an additional dolutegravir 50 mg will be given after 12 hours. I hope it is a bit clear to you people. Now, recommended PEP. Now, post-exposure prophylaxis. What will be doing in that? So, adult, earlier we were giving TLE or TL plus LPVR. Now we will be giving tenofovir, lamivudine, and dolutegravir 1 tab once daily, and 1 tab immediately within 2 hours of exposure, either at daytime or at night time. And next day, 1 tablet once daily to be continued for 4 weeks. Okay? Now, this is the PEP for the adults. PEP, post-exposure prophylaxis. 1 TLD will be given as soon as the patient comes to you with the exposure. 1 tablet should be given immediately at that time, and then once daily, once daily, anytime, either morning or night, and it has to be continued for 4 weeks. This is the PEP for the adults. Post-exposure prophylaxis guidelines for adults. Now, post-exposure prophylaxis guidelines for children. Now, 3-drug regimen is given in a dose as per weight band. You know, 3-drug regimen has to be given in PEP. So, ZL is recommended as the preferred backbone for HIV PEP for children. ZL is a preferred, but if you know the child's HB is less than 9 gram, then abacavir lamivudine can be given, and TL can be given in children, those who are more than 10 years of age and 30 kg of weight. Okay, so ZL is the preferred backbone, which is for HIV PEP in children. But if the HB is less than 9, you can give AL, abacavir lamivudine. And if the child is more than 10 years of age and more than 30 kg of weight, in that you can use TLL. So that is tenofovir and lamivudine. The third drug option is either LPVR or DTG. Again, if the child is less than 6 years of age and weight 20 kg, you have to give LPVR according to the weight of the child. And if the child is more than 6 years of age and more than 20 kg of weight, we can use DTG 50 milligram Odin in such children. Now, phase 1 transition plan. This is the phase 1 transition plan we will be talking about in NACO. Now, patient group for DTG transition in phase 1. DTG will be initiated in the first phase in the following categories of patient. 1, all patient currently on. See, in the phasic manner, DTG will be introduced in our program. Suddenly it will not come because of the limitation of the supply of the medicine. So first how we'll be incorporating it in our program, that all the patients, those who are currently on raltegravir based regime. Okay, so who all are on raltegravir based regime? Number 1, all those who are on third line, they are taking raltegravir right now. Or who else are taking raltegravir? Those who are exposed to multiple NNRTIs are on raltegravir. So firstly, all the patients, those who are currently on raltegravir based regime, will be receiving DTG. Second, patient who need to be switched to third line. Those who are already taking second line and they are failing on second line, and we have to now start third line in them. So those patients who will be switched to third line from second line or to alternate second line, okay, alternate second line will be given DTG. Alternate second line, right now alternate second line is LPVR and raltegravir. So in spite of that, they will be given dolutegravir. So in first transition phase, in first phase, what we'll be doing? We will be replacing raltegravir with dolutegravir. And second, all the patients who needs to be switched to be third line or alternate second line will be given dolutegravir based regime. So how we'll be doing that? For example, they have written first, if the current regime is raltegravir plus LPVR. See, this first regime we are giving to all those patients, those who are having exposure to multiple NNRTIs, we are giving them LPVR with raltegravir. So if they are virologically suppressed, that means either their viral load is less than 1000 copies or target not detected, we will give them LPVR, same 2 tablet BD along with DTG 50 milligram OD. Okay. If they are virologically unsuppressed, for example, now these patients, those who are failing on the uh, alternate second line regime, which we are giving right now, if they are failing, their viral load is more than 1000 copies, then we will give them darunavir BD, ritonavir BD along with dolutegravir 50 milligram BD. Now, why they will be given dolutegravir 50 milligram BD is because they have failed on raltegravir. That's why. So people, those who have failed on raltegravir will be given DTG twice daily, 50 milligram twice daily. Okay. Now, second is darunavir, ritonavir plus raltegravir, which we are using as a third line treatment. So, if the patient is virologically suppressed, that means viral load is less than 1000 copies or target not detected, then we'll give same darunavir 600 mg, ritonavir 100 mg BD, and dolutegravir will be given 50 mg OD. But if they are unsuppressed, that is viral load is more than 1000 mg, that means the patient is failing on raltegravir. So in that case, again, now DTG will be given 50 milligram BD along with darunavir and ritonavir twice a day. Okay. So I hope it is clear. Now details of the phase 1 of the DTG transitions. Current regime, viral load tests results, and recommend DTG based regime. Okay. So multiple NRTI exposed patients with virological failure who need that was those two were that we have already those who are taking those two drugs. Okay. Okay. Now this is up suppose the patient, those who are multiple NRTI exposed patients with virological failure. Now they have first line failure is there. Okay. Those who are either they have been exposed to zidovudine, tenofovir and abacavir, they have exposed to all the NRTIs and now they have failed on their first line. So what second line will be given to them? Leponavir, ritonavir, 2 tablet twice a day along with dolutegravir 50 milligram OD. Okay. And patient on second line patients, those who are taking second line, ZL with the PI based regime. Okay. Those who have failed, those who need third line ART will be given darunavir, ritonavir, and dolutegravir. Okay. At present, this is the phasic transition. Okay. We are talking about in our program. This is not I am talking from the slides, which we have studied previously, which showed how the things will be implemented. This is for the patients currently how we will be using dolutegravir. Okay. So those who have failed on second line and they need third line, for example, those who have failed on TL plus ATVR or TL plus LPVR or ZL plus LPVR or ZL with ATVR. Okay. Those who have failed on the second line will and needs to be started on third line, they will be given darunavir, ritonavir and dolutegravir, and dolutegravir here will be 50 milligram OD and darunavir ritonavir dose remains the same. Okay. Now I know because of the COVID-19 pandemic which is going on, the viral load testing is a challenge right now. So decision of changing to DTG will be based upon the latest viral load which is available, or it can be even done by the clinical judgment, WHO stage 3 4. Okay. And the latest viral load which is available, which has been done within 6 months, the decision can be taken on that basis too. Okay. Now this is how we have to monitor the patients on DTG. Okay. We have to monitor same as we are monitoring the other okay. Like we are monitoring the other patients, those who are taking ART drugs, the same way we have to monitor these patients also whenever they come for the second visit to our clinic, our ARTs. We have to monitor their weight every visit. We have to monitor the adherence every visit. We have to monitor whether they have having any opportunistic infection. We have to do the 4S screening for tuberculosis. We have to do the T staging, that is the which stage is there, whether they are having the T1, T2, T3, T4, any opportunistic infection is there along with them or not. Okay. So same as we were monitoring, the body weight in this is more is very important, because I have told you that one of the side effects with DTG is weight gain. So if anything of that sort you observe, then you have to then you have to tell them regarding the healthy diet and the benefit of the regular exercises in such patients. Okay, just a second. Okay, we have to monitor the body weight of the patient every visit. Then sorry for interrupting, there was some disturbance outside. The body weight, we have to monitor the body weight. Body weight is important, as I told earlier, because one of the side effects of the DTG is increase in body weight. So if we find anybody is having increased weight gain, then we should advise them, give them advice regarding healthy diet and exercise. Then treatment adherence, as we are doing with other. Then clinical monitoring for OIs, okay, opportunistic infection, 4S screening for tuberculosis and T staging. Then lab evaluation based on ART, same as we were doing every 6 monthly. We have to check, because now it is an integrase inhibitor. We have to check for the lipid profile and sugars also, and kidney function, liver functions, and hemogram. Then CD4 count every 6 months and viral load every 6 months, as we are doing for the previous ARTs also. Now DTG transition, important points for ART center. What are they? How we will do the DTG transition in ART centers? Number one, the available stock of raltegravir should be utilized first. Whatever raltegravir we are having, we have to use that first. Then DTG in VD doses of HIV, TB patients. This I have been repeatedly telling, that it has to be used in VD dose who are taking rifampicin based ATT. Okay, not rifabutin. If somebody on second line and third line is on rifabutin based ATT, then you have to use DTG OD only. But those who are on rifampicin based ATT, you have to do DTG twice a day. Now DTG in OD dose for children. In case children on raltegravir based regimen, if weight is more than 20 kg and age is age is more than 6 years, then raltegravir may be replaced with DTG 50 milligram OD. Okay. Now viral load testing for DTG transition. Viral load testing, all PHIV already on ART. Viral load test should be done before transition to a new regime, and patient should be completed at least 6 months of ART or any ARV regime. That we know that viral load testing is must before changing the regime to DTG. Okay. Because of this COVID situation, I know it will not be possible in many centers. So anything which is done within 6 months will be good. And any patient, second thing is that the patient should have completed at least 6 months of ART or the ARV regime previously taking. And virally suppressed, all transitions to be done after a single suppression viral load of less than 1000 copies per ml. This is, we are talking about the first line which we'll be doing. Okay, virally unsuppressed more than 1000 copies per ml, patient should undergo enhanced adherence step-up counseling for 3 months. While continuing the same regime, the patient should have an adherence of more than 95% for conducting a second viral load test. So this is very important. See, if the patient is not virally suppressed, what you have to do is, you have to see ki the patient should be given again enhanced adherence and step-up counseling. Counseling is very, very important in our patients, and you have to again give them a trial of the same ARV regime for 3 months, and after 3 months they will come back and we'll do a second viral load testing. But before the second viral load test is done, it should be made sure that the adherence during those 3 months was more than 95%. Okay. Now note for counselors at ART centers that all PLHIV transition to DTG based regime to be counseled and informed about the rationale for transitioning to the newer regime. They should tell ki why we are changing their regime, what are the advantage of dolutegravir over the regime which they have been taking before. So, and what is uh, before changing, they have to explain them the importance of dolutegravir. Okay, and then it should be changed. Then pregnant women and women of reproductive age group to be explained the risk of neural tube defects in the first trimester of pregnancy and given the option to opt out of the DTG based regime. So all the women of reproductive age group, they should always be explained regarding the neural tube defects in the first trimester of pregnancy, and if they are not willing to take the DTG regime, they should feel free to opt out of the DTG based regime and can be given TLE. Now, capacity building of ARTC staff, training of ARTs, SMOs and MOs would be done through platform like NDLS, RDLS, telemedicine, Zoom, Echo, etc. In the current scenario of lockdown due to COVID-19 pandemic, the repeated training regarding these transition in the regime will be done through all these medium of all the staff of the ART. The respective online and classroom session of blending clinical training curriculum are being modified. One day training of all other concerned ART staff like care coordinators, counselors, pharmacists and data managers would be conducted. Online material will be uploaded on NACO website for referral. So all these things will be done on time to time basis by the NACO so that you get more and more information regarding the incorporation of dolutegravir in our program. Information dissemination and data reporting. Printed IC material and everything will be provided to you people. Job aids, ready-made recorder for MOs on ARV regime transition and drug interaction. Flip chart and checklists for counselors will be provided. Patient information sheet for educating PLHIVs on the new dolutegravir regime are under development. That patient will also get materials to read that why we are incorporating DTG in our regime, what are the advantages of it, and revised recording and reporting formats will be shared with all SACs, COEs, ART centers soon. So at the end, why we are incorporating DTG in our program? Because it is a better drug. The side effects are less, and the efficacy is much better than the other drugs. The potency is very good. The first line failure reported are very less. The viral load suppression with the drugs is very fast as compared to efavirenz, which we have seen it is just 4 weeks as compared to efavirenz, which is 12 weeks. And important thing is that if somebody is on rifampicin based ATT, then you have to give dolutegravir twice a day. And once the ATT is completed, you have to shift it back to once a day. And females, those who are of childbearing age group, they will be always told about the risk of neural tube defects with dolutegravir first, along with their along with the they will be explained regarding the neural tube defects, and accordingly informed consent is to be taken, and then if they are willing to take DTG, it is fine, otherwise they are free to take TLE regime. Any questions? Sonia?
Ma'am, there's one in the chat box. Participants are requested to kindly unmute and ask questions, if any. Yeah, Pooja ma'am, there's one question in the chat box.
Yeah. Yeah, what is the question? Actually, it is not visible in our
Okay.
laptop
Yeah,
here.
yeah, yeah. No problem. In multi-drug exposed, dolutegravir plus lopinavir is written is amivudine to be given along.
Yeah,
It's D
what?
plus L.
Huh?
In multi-drug exposed, D plus LPVR is written is lamivudine to be given along.
I fail to understand. I am sorry.
No problem. No problem. I'll send the question to Sonia. Just give me 2 minutes.
Ma'am,
Yeah, the
ma'am,
current
please click on chat so that you will be able to see the chat box.
chat box. Actually, the current regime which we are giving to multiple exposed NNRTIs is that tenofovir, lamivudine, along with leponavir, ritonavir, and raltegravir. This is what we are giving. So, if we are thinking, if somebody fails on this, and we have to incorporate, normally also, if we want to incorporate daltegravir in this, then it will be tenofovir, lamivudine, leponavir, ritonavir, and dolutegravir OD. Okay, so this will be the preferred regime.
Yeah, there's one more question, ma'am. A few of the pregnant women
Yes,
would
yes,
ask.
yes. What the lamivudine is to be given. The current guidelines which we are following for this multiple exposed NNRTIs, we are giving tenofovir, lamivudine, along with leponavir, ritonavir, and raltegravir. So that TL, I think so, it will remain there. Even if when we will be changing ritonavir, leponavir, ritonavir, and daltegravir to dolutegravir will be changing, the TL will remain there. It has to be there.
Yeah, there's one more question, ma'am.
See, this we have talked about. See, if a pregnant woman is coming to you, okay, in any ART center, first thing is we should always tell them regarding the use of effective contraceptive measures. We should advise them we should always advise for that, for not bearing children. Okay, so but still, and especially if they have completed their family, then it is very, it is our responsibility to tell them that if they are completed their family, then they should not think of having more children. They should use effective contraceptive measures. Okay, and we should tell them what are the advantage of dolutegravir for the female herself. The viral load suppression will be very good. The chances of opportunistic infections later on life will be very less. The first line failure will not be there. So the options of ART drugs which can be used later on life will remain there. Will possibility of using those regime will always be there. So all these advantages you have to explain to the female. Even if she is not ready, that they want to bear a child, they will not be using contraceptive measures or things like that, then yes, you can take an informed consent from that patient, that we have told them the benefits of DTG, but they wishfully want to opt out from that regime. So then you can give TLD after giving an informed consent, and all you have to explain the advantages and disadvantages of the regime. Any other questions? See, this DTG will be incorporated in the phasic manner. Okay, right now we have discussed about previous slides. There were previous slide also in which it was shown that what will be the first line, the second line, and third line once DTG, the fixed drug combination with DTG comes to our program. Okay, right now we are talking only and only about what we'll be doing in phase 1. So phase 1, we will be using it only for patients those who need third line treatment, or those who have failed on NNRTIs, multiple exposure NNRTI regime, which they are taking, they have failed on that, and they need third line for them. And those who are already taking third line, In that, the raltegravir will be changed with dolutegravir, and multiple NRTR exposed. Those who are taking leponavir, ritonavir along with raltegravir, and they are virally suppressed, they will be changed over to dolutegravir. So right now in phase 1, we will be doing only this much.
Thank you, ma'am. No more questions in the chat box. Participants, please unmute and you can ask questions.
Participants have now access to the microphone so that you can unmute yourself and ask question.
Ma'am, I don't think there will be any more questions.
Okay.
Thank you for this informative session. Thank you, participants, for patient listening. All the participants are requested to please enter their designations and the ART center name in the chat box, and only then to leave the meeting.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Participants, please enter your designations and the ART center name in the chat box before you log out.